guys, how you doing? This is Mango etc. and I'm here to bring a review for Shaman King episode 21. So we start things off with Yo and Team the Ren. They're just chilling, celebrating their victory. And we have the Bose brothers, I think that's how you pronounce it. They come back in for what I'm gonna say is like a final little piece of backstory slash character development for them for the last time. Because I don't think we will ever see them again, and if we do see them again, it's like they're just background characters there and there. But what I do have to say is that we get so much more from these characters than I could ever remember from the OG from the OG anime, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, but because at the end of the day, they're not important characters, we don't really need that much, just shoo them off to the side. Like, they've been defeated last episode. I think they're done. If they're not done, okay, fair enough. But I think they're done so that they've been done. We don't need to see them no more. Like, let them finish, yeah. So they're not going to follow How anymore. Obviously, they was treated badly. So they're not going to follow How anymore. They're going to do their own thing. I think they've got an album dropping soon. I don't know. I don't really care. Like, let's move on, please. Thank you. And then we essentially do move on. So basically, everyone, Team Yo, Team Naren, they find out about Lyzerg joining the X-Laws, and rightly so. Nobody is too upset except Ryu. Except Ryu, he seemed to be harboring all the sadness for the whole of the entirety of Team Naren and Team Naren and Team Yo. But like I said previously, in this anime in the 2021, Liza don't spend much time with the crew, so therefore the fondness that the crew would have for Liza is very minimal. It's very minimal, especially if you're comparing it to the OG anime. So it's very minimal. So with that said and done, if you hardly know a brother and he wants to say bye, you just say bye to him and say wish him all the best of luck. Then that's what technically what Yo is doing. So so they find out that it's during X Laws. They want to go check out the fight, so they go over to the arena to check out the fight. So we have X Laws X1, because the X Laws have a couple of teams within there. X1 versus Team Egypt. So I'm gonna call them Team Egypt because they're all from the Egypt. So if I'm remembering correctly, and I'm going to mention it because I think I am remembering it correctly, but it is mentioned that X1 is the strongest X-Law team, and that kind of throws me off because Lyzerg is on it, and now Lyzerg, new recruit to the X-Laws, I feel like he shouldn't be. So Lyzerg has come and he's stronger than all these people that have been working with the X-Laws previously. It seems like a bit of a stretch for me. That's just a thought that I had. Maybe I misread the subs, but if that's the case and that's what it said, I don't buy it that Lyzerg should be better than all the people that came before him. Maybe some of them, no, but you shouldn't be in the top team. At the end of the day, I think he shouldn't be in the top team. So the fight starts out, and the Iron Maiden wants Lyzerg to show him stuff. So he starts off the battle fighting solo basically, and he shows his stuff. His stuff is impressive. He shows that he can be part of the X-Laws. He can be part of this team, and you could say that he was strong enough to win solo, but when it came down to it, he has doubts within him, and these doubts within him prevented him from finishing off the team when it came to the matter. And now I'm not gonna say that. So it came down to the matter. So when that was all said and done, and it was clear to the Iron Maiden that Lyzerg wasn't up to the task, she hopped in there and took matters into her own hands. And now this is where things got dark. This is where things got dark. Once Iron Maiden hit the stage, that's just where things got dark. And now the first thing I realized is when like the case thing opened up and she stepped out. She's bloody, and we find out about the whole spikes the inside of the case. Yeah, I was like, rah, don't remember that from OG anime. Of course, I watched that dubbed, and for all of you, some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you won't know what I'm talking about. 4 Kids. There was just back in the day. There was just the king of censorship. So I'm not surprised that the stabbings in the casket. I'm not surprised that was cut out, but that's not the only dark thing that took me by surprise within this episode. So when the episode is going on, we're learning all these facts about the Iron Maiden. The Iron Maiden's telling us what she's about. And then she starts fighting and she's just so on killing. I was just thinking to myself, this is dark. This is some heavy tish. Especially with the background music and the voice of her a guardian ghost when it was like, oh, when it was just like die or something like that. It was just like or kill or something like that. But it's just the whole from the second the Iron Maiden hit the stage to when the fight was done, I was just thinking, this is dark. And what makes it, I don't know what I want to say here. Because at the end of the day, the X-Laws are not bad. They're not bad. They're supposed to be like a good group of people. We're supposed to be kind of rooting for them in a sense as well, because like our main protagonist, like our protagonist, they want to take down the main villain of the series. How? But with the X-Laws, you have a group of good people who are portrayed as bad. You're not rooting for them, even though they're supposed to be good. And I think that is done excellent. That is done excellently. It's done in a good way. It's done in a good way. And that is pretty much all I want to say about this episode. So I guess in a nutshell, this episode was to introduce the Iron Maiden and make you dislike her and the way that she's acting. And I think that was done really well. Really well. So, and another reason why this episode was dark, because Morty fainted at the very end. He was so distressed by what Iron Maiden done. He fainted. I don't blame you, Morty. If I was there live with you, I'd right beside you as well. So, yeah. So at the very end of the episode, Yo is like, I guess I have to become Shaman King. And now that made me think that maybe before this, Yo was thinking that maybe he didn't have to become Shaman King. Maybe like he could depend on somebody else. But now that he's seeing some of the other teams especially the X-Laws, because obviously this train of thought came off of the X-Laws. He's thinking, nah, nobody else is up to snuff. I need to do this by myself. But yeah, this episode really showed us what I think, because she's a god class shaman. So this episode really showed us what a god class shaman can do. And boy, if you want to win this thing, if you want to become Shaman King, based on the last time you saw you fight, and you struggled against that X-Law, that you need to up your game, boy. You need to up your game. But I think this episode deserves a 4-star rating. Only thing that I would say that could make it better was if the action in the fight was better. That's the only reason that's the only thing I could think of that could have made this fight better, and I would have given it a higher rating, the perfect rating. But like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.